So let's continue this admittedly ad hoc course on propaganda terms, especially focusing on those terms that at one time were important terms of resistance, that were important words and phrases used to advance the discourse of human justice and human dignity, but have since been incorporated by powerful interest groups and the propagandists representing those interest groups to do exactly the opposite, to shut down discourse, to shut down debate, to make sure that we can't talk about these things that represent a challenge to existing authority. And I think probably one of the most tragic terms to undergo this transition is the term anti-Semitism. Now, this is immeasurably tragic because anti-Semitism should be a reference to forms of prejudice and discrimination and abuse that was leveled at Jewish people and Jewish culture. And the history of this is absolutely brutal. For centuries, Jewish people have faced anti-Semitic purges, pogroms, inquisitions. They've been driven out of territories. They have been subject to religious persecution. They have been subject to pogroms and actual genocide. So we need this term. We need to be able to talk about anti-Semitism if we want to actually advance the goals of human justice. We absolutely need the term anti-Semitism. But we can't use it. We can't use it in the way that it is supposed to be applied because it has been co-opted by Zionist interest groups to level any attempt to criticize the Zionist movement, especially the Zionist movement, as it has been applied by the State of Israel. Currently, the State of Israel is engaged by what all experts in this field recognize as a genocide in Gaza, ethnic cleansing in Gaza, intentional. And it is very difficult to talk about because of the misapplication of the term anti-Semitism, which has now been used to demarcate anyone who may have a critique of this genocide, who may have a critique of the actions of the State of Israel. And it's a real problem because when this happens, when you take a word like anti-Semitism, an important word that is used to designate a very real and crucial aspect of human culture, and you misapply it in this way, then what ends up happening is that term gets watered down. And it makes it very difficult to actually use that term for what it is intended for. And this is a real problem for Jews all over the world who are still vulnerable to facing the same kind of prejudices and discrimination that the term anti-Semitism should be applied to address. And when you water down the discourse like this, when you weaken it by turning it into a nonsense term used to shut down debate, then the ancillary effect is to shut down debate in actual, real anti-Semitic problems. This is intended, the incorporation of the term anti-Semitism is intended to empower the State of Israel and to empower this movement. But ultimately, in incorporating this word and watering it down and dumbing down its meaning, you are now actually making this movement more vulnerable. You are now making a real claim to real injustices faced by a real group of people, a real culture, and making it more difficult to address that injustice. And that is the real tragedy of the processes that we've been talking about in the last couple of videos. It makes it harder to advance the cause of human justice, which has been a centuries-long goal of the Jewish people. Look, this video is not going to pick up the algorithm. It's not going to be promoted by the algorithm god. So if you actually got something out of watching this short video, please hit the like button and please share this with others, because otherwise it's going to be squelched by the algorithm gods. I'd really appreciate your help in getting these terms out. And we'll figure out what the next term is going to be.